Hi guys, my name is Courtney. I'm a former collegiate and international softball catcher. I coach catchers all around the world and I teach them how to feel super confident using the knee down stance. Right now, I'm with one of my clients' moms, Marion. Marion, can you take a moment and share a little bit about where you're from and a little bit about your coaching experience as well?
Yes. So I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I coach both baseball and softball. I started coaching when my oldest was probably four. He is now 21. So I basically coached him through all his levels. And I also um, have coached my daughter in both baseball and softball because she plays baseball for me and softball over the summer. And I currently coach my third child in baseball. Um, and so and I coach my youngest as well in baseball. A lot of my more recent coaching, I would say over the last 10 years has been with the younger levels, but mostly been with high school level play.
Mhm. Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit of that. I know that you've kind of been big in the coaching scene in your area for a while, and I know that you play a huge role in in your daughter's development. So Corinna and I, we've been working together for the last few months, and so we've been working a ton on the fundamentals of the knee down stance and helping her feel super confident in her skills from that stance. Oh, before she started the program, how much would you say she was using the knee down stance?
I would say she wasn't using it at all. Um, Unless there were no runners on base or in a situation where she didn't have to worry about
For
throwing runners out or keeping them
yeah.
on base. And it was kind of interesting to see because I was of course around for her high school play that they weren't really working with the catchers on that type of stance.
Mhm,
And so I don't think she had a lot of role models
mhm.
um, for more advanced catching techniques.
Yeah, for sure. So what made her want to learn how to catch in the knee down stance?
She wanted to get better at catching because she's had a rough time uh, getting noticed for her skills and being placed on appropriate teams,
Mhm,
both in high school and in summer ball.
mhm.
Um, there's always some politics involved, and unfortunately, she wasn't part of those politics, and so she really wanted to up her game because her end goal is to play in college,
Mhm.
and so she is going to University of Wisconsin Madison, and they have two club teams there, and her goal is to make one of the club teams, and she felt like she really wasn't getting the training from her summer or from her high school team. And she wanted more so that she can really be competitive when it comes to trying out for the club team in college.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that she's been working super hard and making amazing progress throughout the program so far. And yeah, it's just been fun to see her work super hard and improve so much in her skills. Where would you say her confidence levels were as a catcher before starting the program?
I think she was pretty confident, but she was frustrated that she wasn't playing at a level she felt she should be playing out at. And she was a little frustrated with her throwdowns because while she was exceptionally accurate, she always seemed to get the ball there a fraction of a second too late. And so I think her confidence in throwing runners out was probably not where it should have been, given her accuracy as far as her throws go. And I think she's gone up and down with her blocking as far as Sometimes she's like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good," and other times she's like, "No, I'm not feeling so good."
Yeah, that's fair. Blocking is the toughest skill to master for any catcher. So it's fair to not feel like super confident in it before like getting like a ton of training to help you feel super confident. So we made like a lot of adjustments throughout the program. Basically, like with the four main skills that you have to master behind the plate: stance, receiving, blocking, throwing. What adjustments did she make with all of those skills? We'll start with stance. What adjustment did she make with her stance, throughout the program?
Well, I mean, she learned the knee down stance,
Mm.
and actually she feels a lot more comfortable catching that way than she does from her just from her crouch.
Yeah.
That was really that was a really fun and interesting development to see.
Mhm,
And she was concerned at first, like, okay, if I have my knee down, how am I supposed to move?
mhm,
But once she kind of got the hang of it, I actually think she moves better. She stays lower. She doesn't come up like when sometimes when you're in just a crouch, you jump instead of move. And
mhm,
so I think her movements are much more fluid now, and I think she feels that too. She does help me out with some younger catchers who are not ready to do that yet, and she's like, "Oh,
yeah,
it's kind of weird to go back." I feel like in my crouch, I move better now too, is what she said. But she's like, "Yeah, it's interesting to see the difference
for
and
sure.
how much smoother everything is." I think from her new stance. And one thing about Corinna is she's very, very coachable.
Mhm,
She adapts very easily, and so that was it's fun though to see her be given some new challenges and then really take them on. And I think it really improved her blocking skills
mhm.
absolutely because I think she just moves more fluidly behind the plate.
Definitely. Yeah, she is very coachable, and, like, the progression that she made each week from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is a different catcher." This is amazing how fast, like, she's learning and how much she's actually like, the work that she's actually putting in to see the results. It was awesome to see. So you touched a little bit on stance, a little bit on blocking. You feel like she blocks a lot better from this stance. Tell me a little bit about, like, her receiving skills. How do those look now compared to where they were at the beginning of the program.
So sometimes what would happen is she would stab at the ball for receiving, and I think that I mean, I'm sure okay, everybody makes a mistake, but I think that um, I think that was always her strongest skill. She mostly didn't, but she would stab at the ball, and I think she's just more fluid overall, not only with her legs but with her glove. So she's really absorbing a lot more. And then as far as framing goes, she would sometimes move her glove too much,
Mhm,
which you kind of lose the magic of the frame. And so having those adjustments, she was always actually, I think framing was one of her stronger skills, but making sure that she's keeping her wrist locked, that was something she wasn't doing as much of.
mhm,
And now that she does, I think she'll get a lot more calls from the ump in her favor.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think that, like, her receiving, she was a pretty strong receiver, like, coming in, but I knew that just, like, a small few adjustments would only make her that much stronger, so it's been
Yeah, because sometimes she lets her
yeah,
wrist
right,
flap instead of keeping
being flat, yeah, yeah,
everything straight. So
sure.
that was really helpful to her to
Mm.
as she's receiving to really keep that ball in the strike zone even when it might not be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, she's been doing awesome, honestly, with all the skills, so it's been super fun to watch her grow. You've been super invested in this whole process with her. You've been out, like, tossing the ball to her. You're kind of you've been a super big part of her development throughout this program as well. So from a parent perspective, for anybody who like is watching this wondering what it might be like inside of the program, what would you say it's like to be inside of the program?
Well, luckily, she also had siblings who were willing to,
Yeah.
play with her too. But I mean, I'm a coach, so I coach softball, I coach baseball, so I love it. I'm in it all the way. And I love, it gives me a chance to interact with my child. So it was fun.
Mhm.
No stress. It was just fun to toss the ball to her. Yes, there are several things that she was able to do independently, but yes, it does require at least one other person, if not two, because sometimes you have to videotape
Mhm.
to have them practice the skills that they're learning, and then videotape to send them to you.
Mhm.
Um, but if you like getting out there with your kid and tossing the ball around, it's kind of fun,
Yeah.
and it's fun to be an integral part of watching your player get better.
For sure, for sure. Tell me about like what it's like to like navigate like the software, like in the inside of the program and like learning how to do everything from the videos that I have set up for Corinna.
Well, she did all the navigating.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So, I really wasn't, she downloaded the videos, she sent them. So most kids, I think these days are pretty tech savvy. She didn't seem to have any trouble with the software or any issues uploading anything. I mean, I looked at she'd show me the videos of what she was doing. I didn't have to like click on anything to do that. And they're very easy to see, easy to understand.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to navigate the software, but Corinna didn't have any trouble. And I imagine most young people these days aren't going to have any trouble navigating, the software and looking at videos and uploading videos.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Who do you think this program is for and what type of person gets the best results in the program?
I think it's for high school catchers. I think the any catcher willing to work, it is going to be beneficial. I mean, they have to put the time and they have to put the work in. It's not like they're going to watch one video and magically know, everything. But I think if they're willing to put the work in and practice, it can
Mhm.
make a really big difference.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, it is, we did 9, I think you're increasing it to 10 weeks. We were only able to do 9 weeks because my daughter went to college. But, um, it's but it's totally doable. I mean, there were weeks we were on vacation, or there were weeks when she only had 3 days, and it's not like it's so much that there's no way she's gonna get this program done, even with going to college, even with a family trip of 10 days. I mean, she was able to double up on some days, and other weeks she did, 1 day a week, everything each day of the week, not 1 day a week, each day of the week. Um, so it's it's totally doable as long as you're willing to put the work in and set aside the time to do it. So I do think it is for catchers who are self-motivated and who are higher level catchers. It's definitely a higher level program and can really increase your chances of playing at a higher level in high school, and I think increase your chances of playing in college.
For sure. Well, I'm glad that you said that because, yeah, it isn't like easy to go out there and like put in all of the work, but it is for somebody who really does have like real goals. So yeah, I'm glad that you like kind of said that and touched on that. Would you recommend this program to somebody else?
Yes, I
Okay.
would. I have already talked to there's a catcher that Corinna has been on a team with over the summer. And she's pretty frustrated too because she just feels like she's not getting any training. And she's also very coachable. I would reserve this program for a motivated, coachable, um, higher level player because you are going to change some of the things that you've done for probably many years, and you have to be willing to be open minded and say, okay, I think this is something that will increase my flexibility behind the plate and my ability to catch a faster pitcher, and throw out faster runners. So um, I have recommended it to a player I think would be a good fit. So I think if your player is motivated and wants to get better, and they're playing high school ball and want to play college, this is a great program.
Definitely. What would you say? Well, like Well, thank you for saying that. I'm glad that you would recommend it to somebody and that you already have. That definitely means a lot. Before you worked with me, did you have any limiting beliefs about online training?
Mm, so I think we came at it from a different angle because my daughter attended your clinic
Yeah, right.
Bethel University
Totally.
in person. And so
Yeah.
we saw how you worked. You were great with all the catchers. That's actually where she learned to throw from her knees. Nobody had trained her in a good technique to do that.
Mm,
So already we had a positive impression.
yeah.
Um, and then um, the I think that the thing about an online program is you have to have a player who's willing to hold themselves responsible. Nobody is, it's not like they have to be somewhere and they have to show somebody and there's deadlines. And I mean, there is deadlines on the online program, but the player has to be self motivated to accomplish those skills.
Mm,
So it's a little different than if they have to go somewhere every day or once a week or things like that. But again, I mean your program I think is designed for catchers who want to get better. So if you want to get better, you're going to put the work in. So whether it's online or in person, and Corinna had a great time following up, on Zoom like we're doing now and talking about how she's doing with you and receiving the feedback. And so I think that made it less like, oh, it's just online, just do your thing, because
yeah.
there's also those personal meetings one on one. Where do you get that? I mean, that's pretty amazing where you have one on one with your coach
Mm,
to go over your videos and really, see how you're doing. So
yeah.
I think it's a nice blend. um, so I don't think people should be too worried about the online portion. Again, we've seen your work live, so we're
Sure.
coming at it from a slightly different angle. But yeah,
Definitely, definitely. What would you say to somebody who's watching this video and is on the fence right now about joining?
I'd say I think it's important that you look at your player. Whether I mean, if it's a player looking at, I mean, if you are willing to put the work in, go through the videos, make sure you do some stuff every week, and then it's great. You meet with Coach Courtney here, and she gives you direct feedback, goes over things. You can really learn a lot and you can improve a lot in, I mean, 10 weeks isn't a lot of time. I mean, but you can improve a lot in that 10 weeks. So I think you have to just take into consideration, is your player coachable? Are they self motivated? Do they have goals of wanting to play at a higher level? If all those things are yes, it is a great program.
Mhm. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I definitely really appreciate that. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the experience in the program?
Oh, sure. So, uh, Corinna had already been doing the program for 6 weeks, I think. She had her summer season as usual. The lower team needed a catcher. So instead of, even though she was better than some of the catchers on the higher team, she wasn't one of the director's younger, director's proteges or whatever you want to call it. So she was relegated to the lower team to catch for them, which was very frustrating because it was um, so they play fall and summer. So it was like the third or fourth season in a row that this has happened to her. And so she decided to look for higher level playing opportunities where you do have to try out. So she connected with a club called the Diamond Divas. They even play out of state tournaments. They're quite competitive. And she will be allowed to have a super summer next year because she doesn't turn 19 until the summer. So she'll still be 18 at the cutoff. And so she tried out for them, and they accepted her right after tryouts.
That's
So they told her she basically went and played a double header for them because she couldn't come to the actual full blown tryouts.
mm,
So before they even looked at any other players when they held tryouts, they saw her catching ability. She actually threw a runner out. She blocked everything. She played a mean third base, so that's not your but she had a lovely single. She played really well. But she played really well behind the plate, threw a runner out. And at the end of the doubleheader, they offered her a spot. So she's going to be playing higher level ball next summer. So
Yes.
she's very excited, and she's playing for a coach who is knowledgeable and is invested in her. So that's very exciting. And then she is going to be trying out for the UW Madison. They have two club teams. She goes to UW Madison. And I think she and I are both very optimistic that this program really elevated her catching skills and puts her in really good stead to make one of the club teams.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, that also like shows how much work that you guys have been putting in. Like I never doubted what like for 1 second if like Corinna was like working hard, putting in the actual work and wanting to get better. Seeing her results from the beginning to the end, it has been like it's been so fun to watch her grow and blossom and honestly like turn into a catcher that she's always like kind of aspired to become. So it's been super fun to be part of that journey with you guys. So thank you for letting me be part of that with both of you. So yeah, thank you again for hopping on this call, sharing a little bit about like your experience, about Corinna's experience. For anybody who's watching this right now and want to have a similar story, feel free to book a call using the link below to learn more and claim a spot in the program.